It's showtime.
On pure speculation, just an educated guess, I'd say that man is alive.
My name is Montgomery Chester Williams. My friends call me Monty. Well, they would if I had any. You know, if the universe has taught me anything, it's what others refuse to admit. In the animal kingdom, the largest predator rules it all.
Psychically, I'm very well endowed.
I want to know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I want to know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Hey there, this is Cooper Telepathic Money Comics. So welcome to What's Next. Special time tonight. Let me see. We got some comments already. Let me see here. Shadowpunk, those bastards. That's the yep. Why is that not showing up? Where you at? Where you at? Oh, there it is. Okay. There he goes. Those bastards. Hell the bunny. The starts our freaking walk. Yeah, lucky, yeah, I hear you. Hell nerds and pendejos. Hey, hey. My guests saying hello. And, all right. As long as this intro it's not the longest one in CG. Smash that like button and ring that bell. I appreciate it, man. One of my mods showing up. All right, let me add my guest. Somebody who you may have heard of, or let's see, let me find it right quick. All right, okay.
Who?
All right. I couldn't resist. Couldn't resist. Anyway, welcome to the show, Mr. James Rock.
How's it going, buddy? Thanks for having me.
Hey. No problem. This series was inspired by a really bad review that I had of this book here, Snowman, Cold Day in Hell. After 3 years, I got it, and it's like nobody ever took a look at the writing, but the art is perfect art. But no. Didn't look like I even had a editor run through the script before they started putting it in production. And so, because of that, I'm like, why am I promoting somebody who got 6 figures and a book that they didn't really pay attention to? And when I have so many guys that I respect who paid a lot of attention, especially this guy right here, and the Shadowpunk. And so I'm going back through and reevaluating my favorite books and see do they hold up now that I have a new like carrot system. And so asking the question, is it good? So tonight I'm going to reevaluate Magnificent Bastards. There you go. Now this is my high end. This is between Shadowpunk and Snowman. Okay, Snowman being kind of a low tier book, and Shadowpunk being the ultimate art and writing. And so this book, I got it, and I read through it multiple times, but this time I went back and kind of like, after being away from it for a while, and went back and did a reread. And what I discovered was pretty interesting. And so I'm going to share that with you right quick. Comment. But will you respect him in the morning?
No.
No. I won't respect him at all. No. Yeah. Ginger hate is real. There you go. Anyway. All right.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear what you discovered within the book that you didn't see last time. I am very interested.
Okay. All right. What I discovered was this book is like obsessively perfect. Okay. And a lot of I mean, story wise, the story you tell works on so many levels. I discovered a whole new level that I didn't see before.
You went plaid.
I went, yeah, it goes plaid, definitely. 5 carat tops will too, actually. There you go. Okay. I first of all, I did not notice that the little poem you have in the between the stories there. Let me show it real quick. All right, so this way, I think. But anyway, you had like a
Hail Raiden.
Yeah. That page right there.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that poem was written by your mother.
Yes.
And she was very talented. I thought you wrote it. I mean, that's how good it is. I thought you wrote it. Plus, it's like the red page with the negative image of Montgomery, one of my favorite characters of yours. And then the very next page is that. Okay. I mean, that's not a splash page. That's like an explosion page. Okay. It's so much going on there. I mean, so basically what I discovered was that, you're not working on, I thought you might be working on like a future, then back, and then future. But I realized that you had things like seeded in there from like the very first panel that I didn't see before. I didn't see the stuffed walrus. Okay. Like I didn't notice that before. And then I saw the stuffed walrus, and then I saw it like in his the reason why he's afraid of walruses was that he was looking at the stuffed walrus when his mom, did what she did.
Yeah.
I won't spoil it, but let's say it's traumatic. And so I was like, why is he so afraid of walruses? I kept asking that question before, but I was like, that image is like connected to,
it's in there. It's the old thing of like, show don't tell. You don't always need to explain it in the writing, explain it in the imagery. Well, it is in there.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So many people, you put it in there, but like for people to find. Okay, you didn't like say, okay, I put stuff in here that maybe nobody's going to find, but I put it in there because it needs to be in there for me.
Which I'm sure there's still stuff in there nobody's found.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, this freaking back page, man. I was just looking at it today, and I was like, holy crap, he's got stuff back in there, too. Hold on a second. So from what I see, the artist on Magnificent Bastards is fantastic. Yeah, this is Sameo.
So the first issue is Sameo, and then Sketch 51 has replaced Sameo on going into issue 2, which is now funding on Fund My Comic. Go help us out. And just Bob so Bob Raymond, Sketch 51,
Mm-hmm.
he, like, Sameo was great,
Yeah.
but it wasn't exactly what I wanted, because
Okay.
the idea behind the book itself was it was always meant to look like an animated series. Like, you're supposed to have that
Right.
animated series vibe
Yeah.
because of the nature of the story and, like,
Mm-hmm.
how adult it is. I think it's a funny juxtaposition
Right.
between the art being kind of silly and telling a really wild tale.
Right.
Bob got it 100% on the mark.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly the way. So, I mean, going into issue 2, there's a lot of redesigns of characters and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, but it is consistent. It's not gonna be kind of a slap in the face.
Right. 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 Speaking of which, Raiden Radio, I'm gonna have him
No,
on
right.
because he is definitely a writer I want to reevaluate some point. Hey, what's up, Odin? Got Odin Dasco in the chat. And let me see. Yep, I meant MB2's really cool stuff. Yep, we're going to talk about it. We'll get
Yeah,
there.
and we did discuss it just like
Mhm.
basically issue 1. We didn't do a reprint. Like, it's free to read on the anybody who hasn't read it. You can
Okay.
download it for free on the Fund My Comic for
Hmm.
Magnificent Bastards 2 on the campaign page. Um, we
Hmm.
didn't do a reprint of it because we're not going to reprint it.
Okay.
Basically, Bob is going to redraw issue 1 so
Okay.
that eventually when this goes into a TPB,
Hmm.
it's all going to be consistent. As well, there was some stuff that got cut out that I want to put back in to issue 1.
Right.
So
Right.
it'll be almost like the director's cut.
Well, holy crap! What did you cut out of this? I mean,
There's a few pages cut that I didn't want to cut, but for time constraints, we had to.
oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, yeah, well, one thing about it, is that I didn't feel, to be honest, I didn't feel like the coloring, or the art quite like I get what you're saying there. I did feel like there was like a fluidity there to your writing that may not have been reflected by the art, which is good art. Don't get me wrong, but I do see that where you decided that you really needed you needed something like next level up.
Yeah, it needs to, and Bob is such a talented artist, it's ridiculous, right? So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
very, very lucky
yeah.
to have him
Hmm.
working on it, and very happy to
Right.
be working with him. Stellar guy, and just
Hmm.
like absolutely insane, and picks up on the insanity. I mean, that was one of the other
Yeah.
things, is that, like, with Samir,
Hmm.
English is a second language for him.
Right.
So, some of the nuance in maybe the scene descriptions and stuff like that weren't
Yeah.
picked up as much as they should have been.
Hmm.
And that in turn caused me to cut, like, that's probably like time constraints, and that is
Yeah.
why a couple of things got left on the cutting room floor.
Right.
But yeah,
Gotcha.
with Bob in issue 2, like, the insanity level gets tweaked up to 10 in issue 2, because I'm working with
Wow.
somebody who actually gets it and completely
Yeah.
understands what it is that we're doing.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, but that's not diminishing this at all. Okay, it's not diminishing this at all. Uh, but this particular book, I mean, the wackiness, especially that last part of it. Okay, the thing that really separates a writer from somebody who's like writing their first thing, or just basically writing to the art. The thing that separates a writer, specifically a guy that's writing because they're the writer, is that it's the callbacks and the closed loops, and that always drives me crazy when there's one guy that puts a lot of projects out and he never closes his loops. They always like it's basically you're paying like this price for an ash can essentially, and it's like the plot doesn't like move forward enough to justify what you're paying for it, and that drives me crazy. Because there should be full story in every book that you get. Okay,
I
there
agree.
should be, and this is definitely a full story. You definitely get the origin story of Mr. Montgomery. Okay, and I won't give it away the madness of it, but you know, yeah, he's not a aspirational character. Let's face it.
Yeah,
You know,
he's the bad guy.
he's the bad guy, right? And but at the same time, there's like moments of humanity in there. There's like some really gut wrenching moments in there where you feel for this guy, and even though he's a complete total asshole. Okay, let's face it. Uh, and that is talent. Okay, that takes talent. Okay.
Well, it really like that kind of idea really
Mhm,
sparked from like I was hanging out with somebody one time and we were on the street, we were
mhm,
walking down the street, and there was some lady looked like she was in her late 40s, early 50s,
right.
completely strung out, like, that classic crackcore look zombie
Yeah.
walking down the street. And
Mhm,
and my buddy said the most poignant thing that I've probably ever heard somebody say is he
mhm,
looked at her and he looked at me and he went, "That's somebody's baby."
yeah.
And I was just like, "Holy shit!" I gotta always think of that when it comes to writing. Is like, writing
Right.
characters. Your characters at the end of the day are driving the story. If you're writing your characters into your story rather
Mhm,
than, having your story and having your characters dictate the story, you're kind of doing it
right.
backwards because they're the driving force, right? They got to be interesting characters. They got to have their motivations. The
Yeah.
motivations are influencing against other motivations, and
Right.
kind of guiding where things are going. At the same time, having a really cool story is a plus. But yeah, that the just the mentality of that's somebody's baby.
Mhm,
Approaching every character that way is really important, in my opinion, because
right.
everybody has a past, everybody has parents, everybody was once held. Well,
Yep.
not everybody, I guess, but you know what I mean.
Hey, Lord Sandwich, welcome to the show, man.
Hail Lord sandwich.
Um, well, one thing that I really think that people need to understand is even your secondary characters are have a life. Okay, they have like an arc. Basically you're catching them. They're like crossing over with your main character, but they have a world. They have like loved ones. They have like their own motivations, and and when you write them that way to where they're in media res. Okay, they're in the midst of their life too, and they're not props for your character. They're inhabiting their own worlds. They just don't happen to be the focus of the story. And some of the best characters you'll find, which is it's happened all throughout literary history, to where a secondary character became so like important, the Steve Urkel, okay,
Right.
and it was just supposed to like pass through, but they were so compelling that people were like, I want to follow that guy, and there's a whole entire story potential there. But you definitely dot every I, cross every T when it comes to that, and that is definitely like a rare uh that's a gift that not everybody has. Let's face it. Anyway, Deep Bunny's Nail in the Darkmoor Chronicles. Thank you, man. I'm working on a script for him. What did I end up at? How did I end up at NPC? I was once somebody's baby.
Yeah, there you go. It's true.
Yeah,
No,
there you go.
and I
Yeah.
really appreciate that. That's a very nice comment. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I try to do stuff like that. I mean, a good example is like there's the fight in the ring in the
Mm-hmm.
book,
Right.
and Mike has a heart attack, and just even having the guy that seemed like a complete dickbag that Monty's fighting go
Yeah.
to help. You
Right.
know, you're showing that that's an actual person, right? But
Well, the I've never seen somebody give a complete arc for the bully.
yeah.
There's always that story where the bully got like supplanted or got like humbled. The Johnny, Johnny from Karate Kid. That when they
Well,
did
they
Cobra
eventually
Kai.
did. They with John.
Well, eventually they did, and that's why Cobra Kai is so brilliant. Is because where did that guy go? Nobody ever really you covers that, and you did. You're they not that guy bullied him when he was young, but what he did to that guy in the subsequent years, I mean, uh, as he definitely bit off more he could chew with Montgomery and his brother there. But the thing about it is though is towards the end, your premise is I'll let people figure it out for
No, go
themselves.
for it. I mean,
Okay.
we
Yeah.
need people to. Well, you can read it. Like, I mean,
Okay.
you're
Right.
right. Like, people can read it. They can go onto the Magnificent Bastards 2
Right.
campaign, download the book
Right.
1 digital for free. But no, I mean, we're here to talk about it. So.
Okay. Well, the fact that you're using like multiple versions of the same guy in parallel universes. Okay.
But
And
is it
so,
parallel universes?
but isn't parallel universes. Okay.
It's called the
Okay.
verse, but what does
Right.
that mean?
Right. There you go. But that was interesting that, there's infinite, I don't know what it's called, but there's a theory of infinite Earths where you are like a different timelines or different, like realities, where it's like unlimited copies of ourselves. I think this was, I think Everything Everywhere, I think is the name of a movie that came out that kind of covered this. But, that's that whole idea that, this guy, it's like all the timelines, all of them, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
No matter what iteration of him there is.
Well, an asshole or a fucking moron. Like,
Right.
no matter what,
Right.
he's an idiot.
Yeah,
He's a
Montgomery's not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed.
Yeah, Monty is very much yeah, he's very much inspired by, Army
Yeah.
of Darkness Ash. Army of Darkness version of Ash.
Definitely.
Very much inspired by that kind of
Good, bad. I'm the one with the
yeah,
gun.
Neanderthal.
There
Like,
you go. Groovy. There you go. Well, anyway, I did get the Montgomery cover. I dug that one. I just like the simplicity of it. But if I got to do a reevaluation of this one. This one actually went up in my estimation.
oh, thank you.
I thought it was really brilliant before, and but I very rarely give these out. But I've got to give you for the writing. I got to.
Thank you.
I gotta give you 6 carats for the writing. The art's still a solid 5. The art's very good, very serviceable, and you're not dropping off at all for the art. But I am excited to see, where your new guy goes with that. The panels I've seen, we're gonna play the trailer for it in just a little bit.
I was gonna say, though, something that you touched on is like the side characters and
Yeah.
the multiple Monties and all
Right.
that, right? So, like, the original script for issue 2, actually, I scrapped it
Oh,
and rewrote it.
wow.
And the reason for that was that I was really thinking on the fact that we don't really meet the bastards, like the team, until the end of issue 1.
Okay.
Which I did put in. They weren't even supposed to show up in issue 1. I was just like, I need to introduce them. Like,
Yeah.
so that and the Abilene sequence of,
Mhm.
all that was very late in production added in because I'm like, I need.
Right.
That was actually stuff from original script of issue 2.
Right.
And then I pretty much looked at it and I'm like, you know what? We really need to introduce these characters, have people spend some time with them before we move along, and
Yeah.
let's do that in the most fun way possible.
Yeah.
But as well, listening to the fans of everybody that had said anything about issue 1, Montgomery, like Monk was their favorite character.
Yeah.
Who was in it for like 4 panels. They're like, I love Monk. So issue 2 is very much a Monk story. Like,
well, the thing about it is about those 4 panels is those 4 panels he makes a very big impression. Okay. I mean, launching a heat sick rocket out when you're the hottest thing is not the brightest thing to do. Just
well, all the Monties are idiots, right? So
there you go. This one is particularly reckless and very, very enjoyable for that. Well, the thing that I really want to kind of like start pushing here is I want to push the people who pay attention to both the writing and the art and understand that it's a hybrid art form. Okay. And that, even if you have the best art in the world, if your story's not nailed down, if your story's not like every I dotted and every T crossed, then essentially it just becomes an art book.
Yeah.
And I've got art books. I enjoy art books. Okay. If, I got Brian Shearer, the Transformer G.I. Joe artist, and I got his art books, and, Gary Shipman, I got art books from him, people like
Oh,
that.
Gary's very talented.
Gary is very, very talented. But if I want to just see art, I could get that. I mean, they're out there. But, when you got like the resources of a 6-figure comic like that, and, you've got the unlimited, resources and time to do it, and yet the story wasn't taken care of, I'm like, what a missed opportunity that is. So one thing I've been wanting to push is the people who are like, okay, nail the story down, and the art is an expression of the story. Okay, instead of the story being the vehicle for the art, which is what I see a lot. And basically the whole entire art form is the story. The whole entire art form is the story. Okay, we're storytellers. And if the story's not there, then you miss the whole entire point of the whole entire thing. Okay. And to do that, though, it takes writing competence. And the very same people that are complaining about the mainstream, the mainstream art is still, you still got incredible artists working in the mainstream.
For the most part, some of the
well,
stuff
some of the tumbleristas aren't that good, but for the most part, they can get pretty much anybody they want, because of the prestige of it. And so they get some really incredible artists coming through there. But the problem is entirely in the writing. They don't tell stories anymore. They don't really tell, they don't really have like continuity. They don't really have canon. They don't really pay attention to what characters will or will not do. If you think that Captain America could ever say Hell Hydra in any universe, then something's wrong, fundamentally wrong with you there. You totally misunderstood who this guy is, right? And because there are things that are going to be true of a character, no matter who's writing them, and they've lost that, right? Reed Richards is always going to be an egghead, but he's always going to be, at the end of the day, he's always going to have a humanity about him. He's always going to be looking for the betterment of mankind, which is how he got into trouble in the first place. And if you lose that part of him and just make him like a cold-hearted, calculating monster, which I've seen people do, then you get the bad guy, that destroyed the whole entire Ultimate Universe, I mean,
what are you trying to say, Bunny? You didn't like that, they made Captain America evil? Like, what are you trying to say here? I remember having this I've had this conversation with you many times. It's really funny.
Yeah, it sticks in my craw. Okay, it does. It sticks in my craw.
Every time you bring it up, it makes me laugh.
There you go. Hey there, everyone. What's up, Wacky? Welcome. But at the end of the day, one thing that I think that we need to do. Oh, Watcher of the Dam showed up. Says, hey, sticking on. Hey, you awesome, Bunny. Look at you, bring comments. You're famous. There you go. Hey, Watcher.
Hey, man.
You're famous. Anyway, but the whole entire storytelling thing is like the whole entire point and why we're here. Okay. And when I see that taking a back seat to, art is incredible. Okay. I love art. I'm a big art guy like anybody else. I see an art on the cover, I'm more likely to buy that book, but of course, when I see a writer that I trust, I'm way more likely to buy that book. If I see anything the Weezy Simonson's ever done, I'll buy.
I'm with you there because, like, traditionally, any comics that I've ever bought, any
right,
collecteds, or the giant wall behind me, it's of all these books. Typically, like, I'm not looking at the artist; I'm looking at who wrote it.
Right.
And yeah, there's some duds that you pick up now and again, but
Right.
You know, and even for the best writers, there's duds.
Yeah.
You know, you read something that's absolutely incredibly well written,
Mm-hmm.
and then you pick up something else by the same individual, and you
Right.
know, could be
Mm-hmm.
time changes somebody or they just phoned it in, right? But I mean, that exists in there too, right? So it goes both ways, I think.
Right.
But no, I'm with you there. Like the majority, when I'm picking up a book, I'm not picking it up based on who the
Mm-hmm.
artist is, unless it's like, you know,
Right.
somebody I'm like Gaga. But we're all
Writing is primary for success and longevity, in my opinion. I agree with that. I agree with that. Also, if you want your book to be rereadable, like this is extraordinarily rereadable. Okay. I have reread it multiple times, but I pick it up today and it's like, it's a brand new book to me somehow. You know, I was starting to see like connections that I didn't see before. Uh, it's like I was like colorblind and I was looking at it and suddenly I see a rainbow. Okay. And it just really opened up to me today when I went to reread it. And I have to say that I don't know, maybe this book is like a kind of a slow burn to where because of the complexity of it that, you know, you have to like walk away from it a little while and then come back to it and see it with all new eyes. Um, but the fact that I could do that, it's like the Lucent, you know. And for instance, you know, when I reevaluated that recently, I was amazed at just how many other things I was picking up before. You know, Eudaimonia, Read and Radio. He's also that kind of writer, to where yeah, it's like you discovering things that you put in there, you know, for your own amusement, probably that that maybe people would see, maybe people catch up on, maybe they wouldn't, but you put it in there and
well,
it's there.
the entire plot of the series is already plotted out. So like
Mhm. Right,
there's stuff in there that probably won't even make sense until I'm done, right? Like,
right.
and but like that being said, it's, you know, the complexity, that's the biggest problem with the book, is the complexity makes it really hard to pitch.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why like with issue 2 is just it, like it's, there's still some stuff in there, but
Hmm.
when it comes to the complexity of the narrative of Bastards, but issue 2 is a fun romp.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, it isn't as much jumping
Hmm.
genres as much as it's jumping television channels, because
Right.
right. So
Hmm.
and as I said, it's very much from the feedback from, you know,
Yeah,
everybody who read Bastards 1 and their favorite character. It's a Monk issue. It's, you
yeah.
know, people wanted to spend a bunch of time with Monk and really get to know him.
Hmm. Yeah,
You know, the other bastards are in there, you get to meet them and get to know them, but like it is very like, hey, if you got people that are like, that's my favorite character, you gotta deliver
right.
right away.
Well,
Straight
it's like
out.
my friend Hojo. He has a talking cat
Yeah.
named Samuel. Okay, and and I kept telling him, I was like, Samuel's gonna fly, man. Samuel's your guy. You know, he's somebody you need to emphasize, and he just you know, and once he revealed that and started showing his Samuel stuff, and you know, but people were like, oh wow, a talking cat, awesome, you know. And it's just like you always, when I read through scripts, I can always see the character that's probably going to be somebody. What's your damn? I'm so gun shy about mainstream content. I only target people I know. Mike Barron's one, but there are so many, right? Slow burn, slow reveal is more satisfying to me because of complexity of stories usually. Yeah,
I agree. That's why I
well,
like writing that way.
right, exactly. Mainly because you know, I'm a world builder. Okay. Um, you know, I'm not as much a storyteller as I am a universe builder. Okay, I don't think of stories as just like like entities. I think of like visiting worlds. Okay, and while I'm there, taking you know, taking a ride while I'm there, you know, taking a joy ride, sometimes, you know, hijacking a car, you know, but in your case, but, you know, I mean, but visiting, you know, and meeting people and living in that world a little bit. And so, you know, I like, you know, even like things that seem like insignificant, you know, some panels that you put in there that were just like, you know, slice of life things. You know, the whole thing with his brother's first girlfriend, or that, and it's like, why did you do that to your own brother? You know, it's like, but that's part of it, right?
And I mean, like, that's the thing with issue one. It was so important to start in that crime noir kind of feel, and
Yeah.
just about kind of slice of life, as you said,
Right.
because once it gets to a certain point, it goes off the rails and never goes back on the rails, right?
No.
So,
And when I say it goes off the rails, I mean, I'm talking that place in Pennsylvania off the rails. Okay. We're talking toxic spillage. We're talking like damage to the environment off the rails.
but like, I thought it was like super important with especially like such a fantastical story is grounding the characters first. You gotta
Right.
have that grounding point where like this dude's just a dude
Yeah.
who gets thrown into a wild situation, right? And
Right.
that's so important
Right.
because if it's just you kick off and it's the wild situation and blah 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 blah, you need the everyman, you need the person, you need your Marty McFly, you need your,
Right.
you need that kind of character that is you, like the person reading the book. That's who you're latching onto. That's who you're
Yep.
seeing the world through their eyes.
Odin Dasco, we're in the business of making stories, is very poignant. Very well said. Thank you. Those of us who love Warhammer Battletech lore dumps are easy to spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I honestly, I like follow book series mainly for the world, because I want to live in that world a while. Okay.
Right.
And I can always tell when somebody like takes care of that dots, that they take care of the furnishing, they take care of the wallpaper, they pay attention to the details. Okay. And, I always love when I can live somewhere else for the duration of a book. The Lockwood and Company television series, I enjoyed that so much. I read the books, and the books turned out to be just as good. But living in it gave me a world to live in for a little while, and I was very happy to find a book series because, once I finished to the end of the book series, I'm like, oh crap, I need a new world to live in. I need a new world to visit. But I don't really take a lot of vacations because most of the vacations I take are, and I don't really need to physically be somewhere else, as long as I can visit somewhere else and pages of a book or, pop culture entertainment's not what it used to be, but independent entertainment is usually where I go for my new stories, my new worlds to dwell in, with the mainstream going off the rails and going California, and just absolutely losing their way.
What are you trying
But
to say, Bunny? You didn't like the Acolyte?
I'm saying I didn't even bother looking at the Acolyte. Okay.
Sorry, go on.
But well, except for all the algorithm chasers that are like, oh, acolyte, it's like, okay, all right, we get it, right? But at the end of the day, we got opportunity as the independent space because they have abdicated their responsibility to give the culture new worlds to follow or new worlds to live in.
It's escapism, and you're not allowing the escapism.
You're not allowing the escapism. It's like
commenting on what's happening in the regular world is like, what, like, why am I watching your show or reading your book or doing anything? Because I could just look outside or turn on the news. Like, it's the exact same shit, right?
Let me go ahead and cover this. Lockwood, not to derail, Lockwood Company's worth watching. Yes. Not kid oriented. No, it's very, very good. Best thing I saw last year, and they didn't give it a season 2, so they could have Dead Boy Detectives, which is like, Neil Gaiman shit.
Gay boy detective.
Gay boy detectives. Exactly.
Creamy boy detectives.
Yeah, right. No, it's like unwatchable, and they're like,
it was a really good
it.
show that I just finished. Is Devs.
Devs
Okay. Was very good.
Okay, what's on what streaming is that?
Showtime, I think.
Oh, okay.
something like that. But yeah, if
Well-
you can check out Devs, highly recommend it. It's very
Well,
good.
I would say Godzilla -1
That was
is
very good.
probably the best movie I've seen in years, probably. And it is basically a human story of this little makes you a family and this guy that's still fighting a war in his mind, and also a giant lizard that wanders in and
Yeah.
like that wrecks furniture. And
I loved the difference between this Godzilla and like
Mhm.
and like Shin Godzilla, where like
right.
this Godzilla, like Godzilla and Godzilla -1's just a dick.
Oh yes,
He's just
definitely.
like, I just want to destroy shit 'cause I'm a dick. And then
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
Godzilla, Shin Godzilla is like a creature that's
Mhm.
in like agonizing pain that
Right.
like just wants to die but can't, right? It's like very interesting because
Oh yeah.
they're both similar kind of stories.
Well,
Different
one thing that was so subtle that for some reason it makes me tear up, but when they defeat the Godzilla at the end, they salute him,
yeah.
and it's such a Japanese thing. It's such a
Yeah.
that culture that basically was torn down to the studs and had to like pull themselves up by the bootstraps and find a way. It's like they were like recovering their dignity, and it's such a Japanese story, but I even as an American, I got that because I lived in that world with them a little while, and and I'm not gonna lie, I've watched that multiple times, and I have yet to watch it without tearing up somewhere. Maybe I'm a wuss, I don't know, but I just
There
love
you go,
that
Bunny.
story.
I
Mhm.
I just shared an image with you. You can pull up. It's
Okay.
fully the explanation of Godzilla minus.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There you go.
That explains that movie to a T.
That sums it up. There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let me say park horror detectives. There you go. That's from my show the other night. I'm hearing so much about Godzilla -1. I almost take a chance on it. Will my spirit be broken, or just go watch it?
No, watch it. You'll enjoy it. It's very very good. It's very
You
good
don't even have
storytelling.
to. They did a dub for the Netflix release, and usually I don't really like dubs, but the people who did dub this one acted. They really acted the parts, and it was very seamless. And I really highly recommend you see that. Let's see. That's the Battleship Yamamoto story arc in real life. There you go. Yamamoto. Sorry, that's a classic pick. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Well, anyway, let me go ahead and I want to get this trailer in for your new the new story. And this is Magnificent Bastards 2. It's pinned to the chat if you want to check this out. It's on FMC, Fund My Comic, where they won't screw with James's money.
And
Or
speaking of
Saturday.
Godzilla, we do have the exclusive T-shirt,
Mhm.
which is Steve Irwin versus Godzilla, as
There you
drawn
go.
by Skunk Artwork. So if you really
Yeah,
like Godzilla, you can.
it's definitely in poor taste, which is Broken Comets brand. So you'll
How
love
do
it.
you mean it tastes delicious?
All right. Anyway, let me go ahead and play this for you.
Pure speculation, just an educated guess, I'd say that man is alive.
June with an urgent breaking news story. Our great and benevolent Walrus Council has just issued an alert. They have lost communication with Council Ship BA57312D. I repeat, the bastards are missing.
A 1, 2, 3, tantalize me. A 6, 3, 4, knocking on the door. 3, 4, 5, nobody to find. You can hide, but I'm running. Eeny, meeny, meeny, meeny. Miny, miny, moe.
Oh, I love it. I
I
love
like
it.
that
I love
Wookiee picked up on who we use for our intro. Yeah, Dr. McCoy in that. Yes, we do.
Right. Well, Wookie, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
Watcher said like Skunk is the king. Yeah, Skunk is the king. He also did the cover. He's the third of the Broken Compass Entertainment trifecta. He's one of the owners, and
Oh.
I think like next month we're releasing
Mhm.
his first book, which is The Splash, which is a 40-page children's book,
Yeah.
all hand painted.
Wow.
It's going to be a beautiful book, but
Yep.
yes, for Bastards 2, he did that awesome Clockwork Orange cover.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you got there?
Well,
what is it?
this happens to be a skunk piece. Let me see.
Oh, you got a skunk?
I got a skunk piece.
You got
Yeah.
a skunk in your room?
Yeah, I do have a skunk in my room. Yeah. Let's see. I haven't pulled this out in a while. I think it's stuck.
It's like
Maybe.
a true narcissist. My skunk did a portrait of me, and it's hanging above my chair in the living room where I sit.
Right. All right. Yeah, this is a skunk artworks piece. I haven't really pulled it out in a while, but
Oh yeah, you got to frame that, man. What are you doing?
I know. I need to. I just like I bring it out, and look at it every once in a while, but yeah.
Yeah, Skunk even like he was like, "Yo, do you want to like the Clockwork Orange? Because like that's hand painted, the cover for Bastards too." And he's like, "Do you want to put it up on the campaign and sell it?" I'm like, "Fuck no, I want it. Like, I don't want somebody to randomly have that. That needs to go into the archives, sir. It's very, very beautiful."
Yeah. Well, I love painted style. I mean, I'm a big, huge Alex Ross fan. If I had unlimited funds, that's who'd be doing my comic. Let's just say it, put that way. Adam Miller did a piece that was very Alex Ross-esque, so I got to see Ironside's, kind of an Alex Ross style. So we'll make you a frame for you. I'll make you a frame for your skunk. There you go. I appreciate it, man. One thing about it, I the reason why I keep harping on the writing, okay, is we have an opportunity here to write the next chapter in pop culture, and the people who write the next, to get there first, the people who write the next chapter in pop culture are the people who basically take people somewhere else and we head in a new direction. I'm sorry, the long ago, far away, is that's pretty much gone now. And even hopping on the Enterprise to somewhere new is kind of gone too. And so that's the two big right there that are pretty much over.
Well, now you can hop on a walrus, and I'll take you somewhere interesting.
Yeah, let's hop on a walrus. Yeah. Hey, there you go. New place. Go plaid on a walrus. There you go.
Go plaid on a walrus. I like it.
Anyway, but I'm just saying that the only way that we're going to do things that are going to last, okay, the reason why pop culture fell off, mainstream pop culture is dying, is because of the lack of writing, is the quality of writing. Once they decided that your arbitrary characteristics are more important than your competence, we saw everything just fall off a cliff. And it's not until meritocracy gets back into it, which is stupid because meritocracy is inclusive. Because there's awesome people in every race, and you don't have to cut anything down or to dumb anything down or put the cookies on the bottom shelf for anybody. Okay, the black race, when they were under the most restriction, when they were like segregated off from society, they created the music, the sports, and the culture that came to dominate the 20th century. And they were like oppressed at that time. They were legitimately, facing racism, and they were at their finest that they've ever been. And so that lowering the bar and trying to remove all barriers from people participating is actually diminishing to the end product. The more barriers you put in front of somebody, the more they have to come up with something new, the more they have to compensate, the more the brilliance comes out.
Well, it goes both ways. I mean, realistically, there's two types of entertainment. There's the turn your brain off and eat some popcorn, and there's the
There you
think,
go.
right? And
Right.
at BCU we do both. Like we
For every 2001 Space Odyssey, there's a Star Wars.
yeah, exactly, right. So we do both, and funny enough, like Magnificent Bastards does both in the same book.
Yeah.
It is turn your brain off and on. Like it's
Highbrow, lowbrow.
yeah, it's like a
Put it in a blender and
brainwave pattern of like tardation. But like yeah, I think one of the major issues that you're kind of pointing out is that everything kind of went the way of being stupid. Like if you dissect it enough, I mean, realistically, it is that the executives got in the room and then that was the end of it. Basically people dictating how writers should write, and then woke culture making writers like scared to write. Art should be uncomfortable.
Right.
At the end of the day, like if you want to actually like have art that lasts, it should do a couple of things. It should make you uncomfortable. It should make you question who you are and your place in the universe, and it should make you question humanity itself. Like it should give you joy, it should give you horror, it should like it should make you think. And I think that's where the downfall has been in general mainstream stuff. I mean, it makes it nice though that there's so much stupid shit, because then you get something really good and you're like, oh, there's my high watermark, right? Or like somebody who's consistently making good stuff that you're like, okay, I know I can rely on watching your stuff at least, because it's going to be very enjoyable to watch. Like, I mean, I'm really looking forward to Longlegs. Like that movie looks great, and I'm hoping it lives up to the hype. I don't know if you're familiar with Longlegs, but
no, I'm not actually.
Check out the trailer. It's a new Nicolas Cage horror movie.
You had me at Nicolas Cage. There you go.
It's supposed to be like, the reviews are saying it's like Silence of the Lambs, like on acid kind of thing. So
well, then you got Deadpool and Wolverine is coming out, which is the other end.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I trust Ryan Reynolds and I trust Hugh Jackman.
Am I going to watch it? Yeah. Am I going to watch it day one? No. Like,
right.
Am I going to have the entire thing spoiled for me before I see it? Probably. Like, I just don't care anymore. Like, they oversaturated that market to the point where like, who gives a shit? Like, I mean, and then to take it in the girl boss way that they did, and completely destroy like years that was building up, and then it's just like, oh, at the end of the day they shot themselves in the foot, because like, how do you follow up the biggest blockbuster movie in history? How do you follow that up? But there was a really easy way to follow it up. Take a break. What they should have done was they should have taken a fucking break. Just pump the brakes. Start like, what would have been a great, what would have saved movie theaters at that time, because that was like the decline of movie theaters. They should have started doing, right from Iron Man, doing re-releases. Take a break of making new shit. Just re-release each movie in order back into theaters for like 2-month spans or whatever,
including Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, everything. Just do re-releases or something. They just went right into it, and it just felt just genuine, like, disappointed. I mean,
it's like they re-released the Lord of the Rings into theaters, and
I was gonna go and I didn't have the opportunity.
I think the extended they're doing extended editions into theaters, which no one's really seen on the big screen. And
I really wanted to go.
There was no showings near me, but I would have taken that. But at the same time, is if you are going to make new pop culture, you have to make something that is going to be like more exciting than what's already been done, you know? And right now, everybody's going back to nostalgia. Everybody's going backwards and looking at stuff that they know is good. And they're not really taking the chance on new stuff. And the reason why is because they've been burned so much, you know? And, and so I think honestly, right now, I'm seeing like signs that what we call the normies, okay? And the normies is really who you want to get the attention of, not the insular, incestuous little group that we're in. Um, but if we can get out to the normies and get the normies interested in our stuff, that's the real target audience there. Because
I mean, you're not wrong. It's hard to say with, I don't know, with the normies and what they like. I don't think you're wrong. I think that there is a shift in mentality towards what they want to look at. Nobody gives a shit about comics in the normie world. The people who like comics are the people who like comics are the people that are going to buy comics. Everybody else, they're fucking tourists. All this like Marvel craze and Star Wars craze and like all this shit, like they're fucking tourists. You ruined the franchises that people loved, Star Trek. You ruined Doctor Who. Holy fuck, I was the biggest Whovian on the planet. I can't even watch old episodes anymore. They've completely ruined it. These tourists, they come in and they're like, oh, we know better, and we're gonna like deliver it to the mainstream audience and da 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 da. And
the modern audience,
for modern audiences, that's a good way of saying that they're gonna have Doctor Who make out with a dude. It's like fuck. And they've come in and they've destroyed everything we love. So
the thing about it is that modern audience, that modern audience has never showed up, and so does it. Actually
they haven't.
It's never showed up.
That's the biggest problem. Is like, why would you take something successful that has a track record? Like, let's use Doctor Who as the example here. Okay, you have Doctor Who, a show that's like going on 60 years. Yeah, huge fan of the Acolyte. Best thing ever. When I looked at Anakin, I always knew space lesbians had something to do with his creation.
There you go.
Okay, so Doctor Who, right? So you take the franchise that's been around for almost 60 years. Was canceled because it was, dwindling in its audience because, let's face it, like 90s Doctor, well, like 80s Doctor was like, eh. Although I love Sylvester McCoy, I think he is an unsung.
He's grown on me. He's grown on me.
Yeah, I think he's unsung Doctor. But anyway, so you have the United States tried to revive it with an American movie in the 90s. That fails. And then miraculously, Russell T Davies comes, revives the show, and it kicks so much ass. And then Stephen Moffat comes in, improves it beyond, like the Matt Smith Doctor era. I think is the best era of Doctor Who ever. I don't care, fight me. Just the stories are really until you get towards the end of that run. The end of the run is fucking dog shit. Once you lose Amelia, that was the end of it. So then you take that, and then you have you try to go dark with it, and audience isn't really feeling that. And then you could see it's like right when that culture shift happened with the woke shit and the studios being like everything needs to be inclusive. Suddenly female Doctor, and you're like fuck, and the ratings go abysmal and nobody's watching it and everybody hates it and everybody's vocally saying like we hate this shit, please return this to the glory that it was. And they're like, oh, we're gonna bring back Russell T Davies, the guy who the guy who saved the show, guys, it's gonna be fantastic. Everybody's like has hope.
And then they got queer ass folk.
I'm sitting there going like, oh, and fucking what's his name's coming back? Like,
David Tennant.
David Tennant's coming back. Fucking ba. Everybody's all excited, and I saw the writing on the wall. I'm like, have you guys followed? Russell T Davies has changed his person. that was 15 fucking years ago. Like when,
And
like
he had oversight. He
Yeah.
had a lot of oversight because he was doing Queer Ass Folk before he was doing Doctor Who.
yeah,
And that's the real Russell T Davis. What
exactly.
we got was the people with he had oversight over him saying, "Yeah, you need to veer away from this shit."
But
And
I don't like what my point of going through all that diatribe of bullshit is
go
that
ahead.
like these people feel like they have to double down, and
Yep.
it doesn't make any sense
No.
to me. Basically it's like a petulant child that gets
Yep.
told nobody likes your shit.
Mhm.
A normal person would be like, "Oh, I got to do something different."
Right.
And they double down and they absolutely destroy the franchise. So like Doctor Who is dead as dead. Like if you look at the
It's
numbers
disco
of
dead.
people watching,
It's
it's
disco dead.
going to be canceled. It's gone. That's outside of like anything you feel about like, the writing or what they're doing with the show or anything like that. Just numbers. Let's talk numbers alone. Like it's
I've got something for
fucking
this,
dead.
by the way. Let me
Oh, you
play it.
do? Okay.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. Disco, baby.
Disco. It's now disco. Yeah.
So you have but you have them doing that. I use that as the example because the female doctor went on for years, right? That was what, like 3 years of the show or some shit. I stopped paying attention.
Mhm.
And everybody knew, okay, this storytelling and what we're doing is not working. Let's bring Russell back and, fix the show. This guy comes in and what does he do? He doubles down and does even worse than what they were doing before, throws more of the shit that nobody likes into it, and completely destroys the franchise. Completely destroys it. Dead.
Oh yeah. There's
So
not,
then you have
there's not coming back from this. There's
no, and then you have the Acolyte doing the exact same fucking thing. And it just
same thing.
like literally the exact same thing. So
Acolytes are timeless children of Star Wars. Yeah.
So I don't quite understand the mentality if it's not to my opinion, which I've had conversations with people disagree. They think that it's just people, I guess, trying to stuff the ideology down or something like that.
Larry Fink, who's the guy behind BlackRock, said that they are going to pay for the change in culture. They're going to force culture. And that's what ESG was. And, it came at the tail end of Obama, and it took the need, temporarily, it took the need for fan money out of pop culture, or pop culture didn't, had another revenue stream if they didn't have to please the fans.
I like to say AC Pritchard, fellow. That's completely correct. We share the same opinion. You should go buy Bastards, AC. Right. You should go buy my.
You really should. It's
go buy. You'll enjoy it.
It's pinned right there. And you can also read Bastards 1. Free.
Yeah, on the Fund My Comic, there's a download link. Yeah. You can read it for free. No, my opinion of it is that it's the fucking jocks. That's my opinion of it. Is at the end of the day, the whole hindsight's 2020. All the nerds and everybody, like, they had their thing.
I think it was the theater kids myself.
You think it was the theater kid? I don't know that it was the theater kids. Maybe it was. I don't know. It's just
Well, the jocks are too toxic and meathead. They're too toxic and meathead. The theater kids are the over dramatic princesses.
I guess what I mean is the jock mentality.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
Of I'm gonna make fun of you because you are a Star Wars nerd. It's like that mentality. It's like people who hated the people who had these hobbies are now in charge of those hobbies and actively trying to destroy them.
Right. Yeah. Look at Broken Compass Comics. I think
it's Broken Compass Entertainment.
Broken Compass Entertainment. Yeah, on Twitter. Yeah, check that out. Anyway,
the ad is at Broken Compass US, by the way. Is the actual ad. So.
There you go. But yeah, I know you. I know you're really busy, so we'll.
I'm. If you're still good for a little bit, I'm okay for.
Okay.
For a little bit, it's okay.
All right.
We can take a look at Bastards 2 campaign, and
Mm-hmm.
if you'd like, or we can keep talking shit about Star Wars and all this stuff. I don't care. We can do whatever you want.
Well, actually, I think that essentially, we've got a displaced fandom here. You got homeless fans, okay? And
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, particularly Gen X. Okay, Gen X is a very unique generation in that Gen X was the first generation that was essentially babysat by pop culture. They were basically marinated in it. Okay, we were there for the toy boom. We were there for Star Wars when it first came in, and so a lot of this pop culture, that's basically the classic stuff, like the John Hughes films, were all aimed at Gen X, and so Gen X, well, we're responsible for hair metal too, so but you have to overlook that. But but the thing about it is because of that, a lot of this stuff that a lot of the negativity aimed at the fandom usually lands on the Gen X. In particular, that generation seems to be in the crosshairs. Okay, and a lot of the biggest voices against what's happening right now seem to be in Gen X. Okay, now the thing about it is it's the quiet generation. It's the they call it the lost generation because they didn't really, unlike the baby boomers who wanted to rule everything and run everything. This Gen X, they seem to be kind of distracted in a way. By the pop culture, they kind of as long as they could get the next thing, they were content to be content. Okay, but what's happened is that generation in particular has been displaced by all of this, and now the pablum that kind of kept them docile has been destroyed. And so now you got a generation who is like the last generation to be bullied, the last generation to be truly independent, the last generation to, face a world that wasn't exactly fluffy and padded. And that generation is now mobilized in a way I've never seen them before, and they're motivated in a way I've never seen before. And I think a lot of these people, they remember the pop culture that was, and because of that, I think they're going to be the ones that chart the new direction for pop culture. And that's a prospect I'm very excited by. You happen to be in that generation too, so but we know where the bodies were buried. We were there when the magic was written. We were there.
We were there when the magic was the gathering.
Exactly. And because of that, if we want to, I think we're going to be the ones that chart the direction of the next pop culture, and us and the older millennials who pretty much get grouped in with us. Before the participation trophy generation came in. Okay?
I guess, but I mean, realistically, so when I think of growing up, and it's basically everybody of our generation, you can name off the cartoons that were like G.I. Joe, Thundercats, Real Ghostbusters, Beetlejuice, and endless stream of these really great shows. And then you kind of look at, okay, well, what was the generation after that growing up on? What were the cartoons that they were watching? There was such a huge pendulum shift, or pendulum swing, I should say, in terms of what people were watching. Yeah. Yes, Odin. Also, yes, Odin's correct. And how dare you say bad things about hair metal?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. We're properly chastised there. Okay.
But yeah, if you look at 90s and stuff like that, it's like, you got Power Rangers and what else?
X-Men 97 just came out.
Well, you have X-Men, Spider-Man, the originals, all that shit, right? Batman,
original animated series.
Yeah, Batman, and so what were the kids watching after the next generation? I don't know. myself. It's actually a legitimate question. I'm not sure what were they watching. Having a kid now, I see that every show is like a Disney-fied version of superheroes, or like it's all shit.
Yeah.
And it's all very uninspired. So like my kid's like watching fucking Astro Boy and like
Right.
Real
A lot of
Ghostbusters
stuff
and
out of Japan.
Beetlejuice, and like she like we're showing her favorite shows are all like shit from the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
she's growing up on. So like, God bless her. She's probably going to school talking about shit that
Well, the new
all the
stuff
other kids
that
are like.
the new stuff that's being created that seems to be having the most impact seems to be coming from Japan, and Japan is kind of like a microcosm of American pop culture that got sent overseas, and now it's kind of regurgitated.
You know how we sent that overseas, right?
I kind of know where you're headed with this. Go ahead.
No, I heard that import happened on an airship called the Enola Gay, and
right.
maybe I'm wrong. I think that's
Well,
how that
when you
culture
bomb
was
people back
imported.
to the Stone Age, you know, I guess as a conquered people, they were kind of looking for their new thing to conquer. So, and they did technology and they did pop culture. So there you go. Anyway, but Carl Barks with the Duck magazine went over and like was the first anime guy, the first big anime creator, was inspired by it. So. And so
That sounds kind of gay. Yeah, that's why like rather than calling people gay or saying like you're gay, you just start saying, "What are you, Enola Gay?" And then people get offended. You go, "No, that's the fucking
that's the bomber." Yeah,
that's the bomber that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. Like, what's wrong with you, you bigot?
Right. Yes, come on now.
Don't you know history, bigot?
Welcome back, Cotter and Don Rickles. That's a good combination. I just found out today Barney Miller and Welcome Back, Cotter had a crossover I didn't know about.
Oh, really?
I need to trace it down.
Yeah, Watcher said something earlier in the chat. They'll make money killing these IPs, and with it, then culture. This is Mao's Cultural Revolution, American style, and I very much agree with that. It's Owen says it's all Slim Pickens' fault. Yeah.
This is the comment you're talking about. Make money killing these IPs with the culture.
The Maoist mentality. They're taking playbooks out of all this shit. Nothing's new. Destroy culture by destroying pop culture. It's the easiest way. You're introducing nihilism and like
Well, Alan Moore, anyway, in comics, but
oh god.
But but at the same time, this is like a new golden age for the aspirational hero. I see it rising to where, well, not in your case, Montgomery's definitely not aspirational.
Montgomery is extremely aspirational. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's Asperger's inspirational.
Asperger's inspirational. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, there you go. Well, I can see that. I can see that. But at the end of the day, I think we're right now. I think we're writing the new pop culture that's going to be influential for the next generations. Right now the algorithm chasers that are like chronicling the downfall of the present mainstream are kind of like huge. But eventually, people are going to look at what's next. That's what this show's about. People are going to like say, okay, I'm tired of this 30 videos on the downfall of Disney. I'm looking, what's the next Disney? Who's creating the next thing? And
you mean who's the next Disney, as in like what's the next company that's going to go under, or like who's the next Disney, new creation, or like
the next company that's going to create the bottom rung, kind of like I guess easily accessible pop culture that is going to like influence the next generation. I was a Disney kid. Okay,
that's already there though, dude. Like whatever company made Paw Patrol, like
there you go. And Bluey.
Blue, like they just like those companies just need to keep pumping out more shit. I mean, that company just keeps pumping out more versions of Paw Patrol, but if they like kind of that's a cultural phenomenon. Like if I've
Yeah.
ever seen one.
Bluey's really huge too. I didn't
Bluey's
know how
huge.
big it
There's a
was.
few, but like
Dog Man.
Sorry, which one?
Dog Man.
Dog Man. But
Yeah.
like I know what you mean. Like what's going to be the company that comes in and does the traditional cartoons, and that already exists too.
Yeah.
Illumination. Illumination is like they're the ones like Minions and like
Well, everybody that were kicked out of Pixar,
yeah.
Because they're white, male, and still, they went over to Illumination. So I expect to see some really incredible stuff.
Illumination. I'm always surprised, like, because I go to the movies with my kid all the time. She wants to see something, and it's like 95% of the time it's Illumination. I'm like, these are pretty good movies.
It's on the Disney platform, but they have nothing to do with the production of it.
For Bluey.
Yeah, it's actually BBC, but they're paying for it to be on their platform. It's Australian, right?
Back in my day, we called it a blowy. I don't know what this blowy is.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, I saw this the other day when I went to a Hero Con down here. I got a video that I ruminated on this, but I went into this big, gigantic conference center, one of the largest in North Carolina, and it was like wall to wall. And I met a lot of these comic producers that we that are household names around here. But what impressed me was this was like the heart of America. This was pop culture. There's I didn't see any politics anywhere. I didn't see people like, just like lined up on different sides. I saw different races. I saw different, socioeconomic levels. I saw people that, cosplaying, all characters from all over, I didn't see like specifically one side or the other. And I saw a whole bunch of people who were just there enjoying like our culture,
enjoying something instead of scowling.
Instead of scowling, right? And it just occurred to me, social media has us believing that we're so far apart, but we're really not far apart.
Well, like I didn't watch the movie, but I did watch your shorts or whatever. You were talking about some movie that everybody was like completely dogpiling on. That we're saying
Atlas.
it was Atlas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it, but that's one thing you see all the time now. Even if something's good now, people shit on it just to shit on it, and it's like, man.
Well, I had
I'm
an
of the
entirely
opinion.
different experience with that movie.
Turn off the internet. That's my opinion. Shut it down. Shut it down.
Well, I had an entirely different. I had an entirely. I mean, they were so obsessed with J-Lo, and they just couldn't get past J-Lo. But and there was some like. There's some things, like J-Lo, being smarter than a computer playing chess, which, was a little bit of a stretch. But there was a genuine, like, I enjoyed it. And it made me tear up in a couple places where the AI was like, became a friend. And they're talking about some kind of romantic relationship. I was like, that was a friendship. It was a friendship. There was nothing romantic about that. And
well, that's it, dude. You bring up something so important. Like it absolutely drives me insane. Is that like, why is it that like that out of anything within like the cultural de-evolution in film and everything is like, why can't you just show friendships? Like why does everything has to be like, oh, they're in love or they're gonna friggin', when the camera turns off, they're blueying each other.
There you go.
Like
right. Why is everything sexual?
It doesn't make any sense to me. I just, you look back at like friendship movies of the past. Like Easy Rider, or like Cool Hand Luke.
Tango and Cash.
And Cash. Like,
even the good, the bad, and the ugly was
like all these, you make these now and they'd be like, oh, they have to be in love and
exactly.
gay and fucking
And,
blowing each other. And
you
it,
know,
I
right.
see it more with women in
Oh,
film now
definitely.
than men. Like with women, like there's no
Slash fiction.
there's no like my girlfriend. Like that means something completely different now. Like back in my day when a
Mhm.
chick said, "Oh, my girlfriend so and so," it meant their best friend.
Right.
Now in film, like you can't even have a film about two women who are best friends without it getting fucking weird.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing
I
about it
want
is,
them to go all in. Yeah. Go
well, I mean,
all in.
there's like a relational complexity that is
Sorry, Odin's line is really good because I was thinking it.
Mhm.
J-Lo is smarter than computer at chess. Not even McCready could. Yeah.
Right.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. Well, but the thing about it is, it's like friendship is like the intermediary step. There's an intimacy to friendship that that is like lost. It's either sexual or it's complete.
Let's say, yeah, it's
isolation.
sex obsession. It's like everybody's obsessed with sex. But
Right.
like, I don't know, it creeps me out that it's like mainly chicks. Like it's mainly women in film and comics and TV
Yep.
and everything. Like no
Yeah.
women are shown that they can't have friends. They need to be a lesbian. If they have a female friend that they're close with, you better go down on her immediately.
Right.
They can't have lasting relationships or be faithful to their husbands.
Right.
You know, like everything I see is like, oh, I'm having an affair. I'm like this and that. And it's like you're teaching this behavior.
Well,
Like
it's
this
like
is
the
not
WNBA. Okay, it sounds out of left field, but stay with me.
okay. I'm with you.
Okay, Caitlin Clark is
No clue who that is.
Okay, she beat Pistol Pete's record for most scoring and
Okay.
in NCAA.
I know nothing about women's sports because anytime I have
Okay.
women's sports on, I just turn the volume up and close my eyes.
Well, wait. Oh yeah. Anyway, so she is like the best basketball player anybody's ever seen, a female.
Okay.
I mean, she legitimately could probably score in the NBA. Okay. Okay, but she's straight, she's white, and she's from the Midwest. And so she comes in the WNBA, and they are attacking her. They're literally physically attacking her, and they're like always denigrating her, and she's basically selling out arenas for the WNBA. And they went from like charter flights to they went from like a flying like coach, normal to charter flights because of her. And she's raised like the profile of WNBA, and yet they hate her so much that they're literally sabotaging her career and trying to get rid of her. They did not let her be on the Olympic team, and she's the most popular female like sports star in like recent memory. And they didn't include her in the Olympic team because of this petty shit. And it's just like, and most of them are lesbians. Okay,
Right.
they're primarily lesbians in that league, and
men is my understanding, right?
well, there you go. Right. I don't think they're let trans in yet, but that's
that
a good example of that.
that
though.
really famous one is supposed to be a man. The one that they did the trade with the Russians.
Oh, Brittany, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's totally a dude.
Yeah, that's probably a dude. Yeah,
That's 100% a dude.
But the thing about it is though is their future. She's like the future of their league. I mean, they she's the only chance that they've had to actually break even, because she's actually filling out arenas every time she shows up. She fills out an arena, and they've had to move her from like literally high school gyms to like big arenas to accommodate the crowds that come to see her.
Right. So
Okay.
that what that chick should do is she should leave.
Well,
That's what she should do. She should be like, "Fuck you guys," and leave and join another league. That's what.
Well,
she
I
should
mean,
do.
she can like shoot from the logo and drain it. Okay, and she's got, but the thing about it is though, is here is a person who's like the biggest star in the world and giving them more visibility than they've ever had, and yet because they're so like
Yeah, because it's not part of the ideology. Like,
because she doesn't fit what the DEI requires.
right.
They are trying to destroy her career and just trying to destroy her as a person. They literally, I mean, somebody elbowed her in the head the other night, literally going for the ball, supposedly going for the ball, even though she didn't even look at the ball.
Right.
And then people are like, oh, it's a basketball play. It's not a basketball play. I've seen Dennis Rodman in the Detroit Pistons. That's not a basketball play.
See, if I was that chick, I would just leave. I would leave the league. Fuck you guys. You guys want to act like this when I'm the draw? Fuck you. You're the one with the power in that situation.
But that's a good example, though. What you're talking about, that preoccupation with identity.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I
Sorry,
mean,
Odin said two really funny things. He said, next time I watch the WNBA will be the first time I watch the WNBA.
Right.
And then he said, I'll watch the WNBA when it becomes shirts versus skins.
There you go. All right. I got you. I got you. All right. Anyway, I see young girls being told they're in love when they just want to be friends, right? And the whole trans ideology.
Yeah, you can't be
women were hijacked during the Russian Revolution, take gender basically all over, convince them sexuality is all that worth and powers that can be controlled them. Right. It really is sad. And hell yeah, Odin put up the slow-mo cam. Yeah. Perverts. Anyway. But the example, I'm just saying that like that's self-preservation, and they can't even allow that for self-preservation. And
right.
So,
but it's jealousy. Like jealousy is a hell of a drug, right? So
definitely. But anyway, but at the end of the day, Magnificent Bastards is a very well written comic, and it's even more better written than I thought it was. When I went and reread it, I was amazed at the complexity. I was amazed at just how how much you put in it just for it to be there. Because I was like discovering all this crap, and I'm like, you know what? I only caught this like the fourth or fifth time I read this, and this is only here because he wanted it to be here. And that kind of like attention to detail, that kind of enjoyment of the art and creating for the sake of creating is what's going to save pop culture.
Hopefully more people do it. You got to care about your craft. Otherwise your craft will stop existing.
Well, AI is going to take it over. And
especially the writing side. Everybody's really scared about the art side. The writing side is what's that's the first thing to go.
Well, if you dumb down the writing, to this extent right here, if you dumb down the writing to that extent, then it's not going to matter. That if AI takes over, it might be an improvement.
Most kids now don't even know how to fucking read. So like,
yeah, right. Because sports is no longer about the sports, it's about comics. No longer about comics, about the narrative. The narrative's not delivered or willing to destroy the delivery mechanism. It's about the message. That's what Critical Drinker says. Amen. Right.
It's about the cool kids table.
There you go.
I didn't know. Sorry, go ahead. Nice sage bunny.
Segue.
I can't fucking read my eyes.
You can't read, man. Come on now. Anyway,
I can hardly spell.
It's a little problem with your writer.
Yeah, I know, right?
Anyway,
Owen and I write, and I'm fucking my keyboard's on the other side. I'm like basically like.
Well, that's what the little red underline is when you
fucking.
There you go.
Flippers. Flipper babies. Remember? You said there wouldn't be any flipper babies. That's my writing style.
I was almost a flipper baby. I came close anyway.
Yes, your segue was great. Did you want to pull up the campaign quick? And
sure. Yeah, let's do that. Right quick.
Oh, kids today don't even read, James, yet.
Nah. Yep. Which kind of makes you superfluous a little bit,
Well, they don't read, really. I mean, they read manga because it's like it has that foreign mystique. Right? They're like, oh, this is cool because it's not.
Well, adding complexity back into the comic books, so they can have the that's going to like encourage more reading, if because of the visual aspect of it. So,
I don't know. Everything that I read or watch is like old now. Like all the movies I've been, I watch like old fucking Toho shit and like old like 70s movies I've never heard of and like all that shit. That's what I dig into now.
So you
Fuck all
bringing the
this bitch.
campaign up, or do I need? Am
I can bring it. I can bring it up if you'd
Yeah.
like.
Go ahead, bring it up.
But,
That way you can drive. You can drive. So.
Oh, you don't
Yep.
want me driving, sir. I'll drive us off a fucking cliff.
Well, there's a better chance of us landing on our feet if you drive. Anyway.
Well,
Whoop, it was there for a second.
Yeah, I forgot to push a button in case you want to.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. There we go, guys. 25 backers. Let's get that up to 30 tonight, folks. Come on, help me. Yeah. So
I'm already backed. I backed first day. So
you got to do it the way that Bob said: back once, back often.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so yes, second issue. There's that beautiful skunk artworks cover. For this issue, the concept is that the bastards basically get stuck in sitcom television.
Yeah.
And it's really focused heavily on Montgomery.
And you're going to have the crocodile hunter in it. So there you go.
He's the sorry, it's not the crocodile hunter. Okay, it's the Kaju hunter.
Oh, my fault.
I didn't know if you wanted to watch this as that.
I've actually got it over there. We can watch it.
Oh, you have it. Okay.
Yeah.
You use it as an outro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Connor McCreary and Arvid Nelson saying some very nice things. We are doing free shipping for the United States and Canada.
Yeah.
You got sketch cards available. The awesome there's the Kaju Hunter, and it's the shirt's called Steve versus Zilla.
I need that shirt. I do need that shirt.
Very scared Japanese
I'll back
fellow.
that tonight. I'll back that shirt tonight.
Very scared Japanese fellow. Yeah. So the shirt, I have one. I don't know. It's not in the room. Otherwise, I'd show it. But I do have one already. Yeah. So Matt Burke also did this awesome. It was originally going to be a cover, but we decided to kind of go in a different direction. But it was just it was so good. I wasn't going to shelve it. So everybody who backs is going to get it as an art print. With,
awesome.
So here's some interiors. What everybody wants to see. What's the book look like? What are we talking about? There's the Kaju Hunter.
Yeah.
And you know, a little bit of maybe Alex Jones, maybe not.
There's Montgomery. That's a great panel.
Yeah. That's a full page.
Full page, yeah.
It's a full page, so all the TV shows in the back. You kind of get to figure out. And we all know
I think it's called an inset panel, even, you know.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think we all know where he is here. I think you know where he is in this sequence. But... So yeah, for the rewards, it is $14 for the book, 32 pages. Yeah, not Jones. Yeah, it's not Jones. Yeah, so $14, free shipping, Canada, United States. $16 for the sketch cover. So if you are the type of person that goes to conventions, wants to get somebody to draw you a beautiful picture there. $25 for both. $30 gets you the book and the shirt bundled together.
Yep.
$20 for the shirt. And then you guys got to take advantage of this. So these sketch cards, these are original sketch cards by Bob Raymond, Sketch 51. Here's some examples of the stuff he's going to be doing. They're available in black and white and color. There's only 20 of each. So 16 are left on the black and white, and the color one, there's 19 left. So jump on those while they still exist. Bob will draw you. You could choose which character you want in the drop down.
Yeah.
And then for $6, you can add in a not Jones magnet, the King of Conspiracy magnet. So there you go.
Yeah, you can turn the frogs gay. Yeah,
back once, back often. Did you ever see that? I made that. I made that diatribe thing. I wonder if I have that.
I don't know.
It was leading into when we were gonna. It was like way actually before we were gonna launch. But I made this thing. Let me see if I could find it.
All right.
Do you do a good Alex Jones there, Bunny?
I do, but it's a little loud and
Oh,
I
you got to do it. If I can find this, you're obligated.
Get her, make her turn the frogs gay. There you go.
I don't like them turning the frickin' frogs gay. I doubt I'm gonna be able to find it, but I made like a little thing where it was Alex Jones talking about bastards and how the World Economic Forum doesn't want you to back it. Oh, there it is. Oh, I did find it. Here we go.
All right.
Here you can do your best out. You could do your best Alex Jones.
Listen to that, folks. I'm tired of them putting chemicals in the paper that turn the freaking comics gay. Have fight back against the World Economic Forum by signing up for Magnificent Bastards issue 2. A comic more demented than Sleepy Joe and packed with more action than a BLM riot. Soon to be censored on Indiegogo and easily purchased on Fun My Comic. There you go.
The censored on Indiegogo. You know, that's a deep cut. You know that.
Yes, I do. Anyway,
but yeah, if if the interest there as well on the campaign, you can read the first issue for free if you missed out and see what the hell Bunny's talking about and raving about. Bunny, I really, really appreciate the kind words and how much you enjoyed it. It means a lot. It's very nice to hear that people enjoy my writing. It makes me keep doing it.
Well, don't get discouraged, man. We need, some people, we know who Vincent Van Gogh is, right? Never sold a painting in his lifetime.
He did have to cut his ear off, though, in order to get there. Right?
That's apocryphal. He may or may not have. Anyway, but anyway, cheers, fellows. I'd love to share mine sometime. All right. Hey, man, I hear you. We'll go ahead and play that trailer on the way out, and we'll make that the end of it. Thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you to the fluffiest chat and all of YouTube. We'll see you next time when we have a new guest to figure out what's next. And make sure you check out Magnificent Bastards 2. There's a pin in the chat, and it's also in the description. So check that out. And while you're there, check out FMC, the best little comic book shop on the net, and see what's on the shelves. There's a lot more there, but definitely get Magnificent Bastards 2. And click that link and check out the comic. It's available also on that campaign. Trust me, it's even better on second or third or fourth reading. I'm on my 6th or 7th, but I still found a lot of new stuff today I didn't even realize was there. So, hey, that's what happens when you have writing complexity. But let me go ahead and play that on the way out, and make sure you like and subscribe if you like the content. And follow the White Rabbit. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Bunny.
It's Magnificent Bastards 2. We'll see you next time, man. Right.
Your speculation, just an educated guess, I'd say that man is alive.
Soon with an urgent breaking news story. Our great and benevolent Walrus Council has just issued an alert. They have lost communication with council ship BA57312D. I repeat, the bastards are missing.
I want